Robinson Crusoe, adapted for English language learners at level A2 by Story Steps. Chapter 8. The Footprint. For many years, I had lived peacefully on the island. Each day was the same. I cared for my goats, worked in my fields, and prayed by the fire. The island had become my world, and I thought I knew every part of it. But that one day, everything changed. In the sand, not far from me, was a single footprint. It was deep and clear, with toes and a heel pressed into the wet ground. My heart jumped. I looked around quickly. The beach was empty. The trees were still. But the footprint was real. I knelt down and touched it. It was larger than my own foot, made by a bare human. I felt cold even though the sun was hot. "Someone is here," I whispered. "I am not alone." Fear rushed through me. For years I had wished to see another person. I had dreamed of rescue and prayed for company. Yet now that I had proof, I was terrified. What if the man was dangerous? What if he came to kill me? My heart pounded so hard I could hear it. I ran back to my house, looking behind me every few steps. When I reached the fence, I shut the gate and climbed inside. My hands shook so much I could hardly hold my gun. I loaded it, then the second gun, and placed them near the door. My home, once safe, now seemed too open. I whispered, they could be anywhere. That night I did not sleep. Every sound made me jump. The cry of a bird, the wind in the trees, even the waves. I imagined men creeping through the forest. My dog barked once and I almost fired my gun in fear. The hours passed slowly until morning. When the sun rose, I climbed the hill above my house and looked in every direction. I saw no one. Still, I could not rest. I decided to make my home stronger. For days I worked without stopping. I built the fence higher and thicker, adding new pointed sticks and branches. I even dug a hole in the hill behind the cave to make a secret tunnel where I could hide. Inside, I stored food, water, and powder. If danger came, I would be ready. When everything was safe again, I forced myself to go back to the beach. The sand looked the same, but when I reached the place, the footprint was gone. The tide had washed it away. I searched for more, walking far in both directions, but found none. Still, I could not stop thinking about it. One print was enough to change everything. For many weeks I lived in fear. I went out only in the middle of the day when the light was bright. I moved quietly and stayed near the trees. Sometimes I thought I saw shadows among the rocks, but when I looked again, they were gone. I began to doubt myself. Maybe it was my own footprint, I said. I tried to believe it, but I could not. The shape had been too large, too clear. One night, as I sat by the fire, I thought about all the years I had spent alone. I had prayed for rescue, but perhaps God had sent this as a test, to see if I trusted him. I prayed again, asking for courage. Slowly, my heart grew calmer. After some time, I wanted to know more. I started to explore again, more carefully than before. I followed the coast far to the west and saw strange marks on the ground, ashes, bones, and pieces of burnt wood. I realized with horror that people had been here, cooking meat, and not animal meat, human bones. I froze. "Cannibals," I whispered. "There are dangerous men on this island." I backed away, terrified. I climbed the nearest hill and looked out to sea. There was nothing, only the blue water and the distant horizon. I understood now. The people must come by boat from another island. Maybe they came only sometimes, to eat and leave again. But when would they come next? I hurried home and worked harder than ever to make my place safe. I built traps and sharpened sticks. I hid my goats in a valley farther from the beach so no one could find them. I moved carefully, leaving no footprints near my house. I practiced shooting my guns and counted the bullets. I told myself I would fight if I had to, but I hoped I would never see them. For months, nothing happened. I began to relax, though the fear never fully left me. Sometimes at night I thought I heard voices in the wind or saw faint lights far away. My dog growled at the darkness, and I sat with my gun beside the fire until morning. One evening, as I looked across the sea, I felt something new. Not only fear, but also loneliness. I thought of the men who might come, wild and cruel as they were, and realized that even they were part of the world I had lost. "I have lived here so long," I whispered, "that even danger feels like company." Still, I prayed to stay safe. "Lord," I said, "if you send people here, let them be kind, and if they are not, protect me." I had survived storms, sickness, and years alone. Now I faced a new test, the fear of men I had never met. The next day, I stood on the hill with my gun and looked out to sea. The sky was wide and empty. The waves broke softly on the shore. I felt the wind on my face and said aloud, "I will not run from this island. It is my home." I turned toward my house, calm but watchful. I knew that somewhere beyond the horizon were men who might return, and I knew that if they did, my life on the island would never be the same again.